the case is already happening, so it's out of my control to do anything now, but to only wait and see what happens.
But do you agree with me that you have already created a precedent? For example, when I look at you, I look at a person who is capable of concealing evidence because of your previous action.
Yes,
You
I
agree
understand.
with me?
I understand.
That is why then I will argue that you are capable of, or you will be capable of doing that. To tell us this, you will correct me or put it in the right way. If,
Okay.
yeah. One of the things that you mentioned when I put to you that the reason why you did not take the cell phone, you remember I said that is due to the fact that you knew very well that if you take the cell phone, you will be tracked, you will be followed, and you will be easily arrested. You remember that question?
Yes.
And your answer was that if you wanted to take it, you are going to take the phone and ensure that something is done so that it cannot be tracked. You remember, although you did not put it in the manner that I'm putting. You remember that's what you said, that is always happening.
Yes, I remember.
What did you really meant by that? Were you telling us that you're one of the people that are capable of destroying evidence? For example, as you're saying to us that if I wanted, I would have taken the phone and take it somewhere so that anything that will follow me can be deleted. Is it your character? Is that what you're telling us?
No, what I'm saying is that, like, people are always selling stolen items,
Yeah.
but they are not in prison.
Yes.
So how are they selling the stolen items while not in prison?
Okay.
So, like, to me, it's like, how would it have been found? Like, it should have been found on them if that was the case. If, like, you guys were gonna track it and then find me. Like, it should have started with them, because there's always people also steal phones and post them on Facebook. So everyone sees these stolen items.
Yeah.
But, like, the phones don't have boxes and all of that, no charges, but they're not under arrest.
Okay. And as such, what you're saying to us is that even yourself, you could easily do that and not be followed.
I'm not saying I could easily do that and be followed, but I didn't have a reason to take the phone.
Yeah, but let's leave that part. I'm just interested in your explanation yesterday,
Okay.
which you're explaining again in a manner in which you explained that here in South Africa, people can easily go away having committed a crime. Am I
True.
right? That-
True.
yeah. And as such, even yourself, you will do that.
I commit a crime and get away with it.
Yes.
No.
Just 1 minute, Bishop. Is it only one aspect of it done? One of the things that you mentioned yesterday was that if you were facing a lesser charge, for an example, that of defeating the ends of justice,
Yes.
you will not need to flee or to run away. I'm not quite sure what I'm putting, you'll correct me. Or if you still remember, can you repeat your comment, what you said with regard to that aspect?
Like with regard to me?
Committing the lesser charge. For example, that came when we were talking, or when you were being led by your attorney, that if if the state were to charge you, the only charge that you'll be faced with, it will be that of what? Of theft or defeating the ends of justice. Yeah, and as a result, there will be no need of you to flee. You remember that?
Yes.
But do you realize that now you are facing a serious charges? Do you realize that?
I'm aware.
Okay. And one of the things that were addressed by my learned colleague is a question, what we call, in terms of Section 60, what we call the public outcry. You remember you were asked about that, and you said that as far as you're concerned, you are of the view that your release on bail will not result in a public outcry. You remember that?
Yes.
Yeah. You even went ahead and actually informed the Scotty that you are of the view, if you are released, you will be indoors. You will not even go to the malls. You recall that?
Yeah.
Okay. But do you realize that in talking about the public outcry, you're released on bail will result in the public being very disturbed due to the fact that this is a serious offense?
May I object? And if I'm overruled, it's okay. But my objection is grounded on the following. The issue of the public outcry, client wouldn't know much about it because he's in custody. Was the first point. And unless my learned colleague produces an affidavit which says so, then there would be a sound basis to put such an affidavit.
In answering to that, Shashif, the state will submit and argue that there is no need for affidavit. The reason why I'm saying that, we are here in court today, and we've got eyes. We say what is happening in court. We've got people who are members of what is called the GBV. They've got an interest in this case. The fact that the media, although they've got a lot to do, they are here. The whole country has got an interest in this case. Now, there is no need to bring an affidavit. Even the applicant himself can say that the public is very interested in this case. Or am I wrong, sir?
May I respond to that, Your Worship, also? That members of the public are not only of those who are against GBV and only for the deceased. We also have members of the public who strongly believe otherwise. So, and that on its own stands to be argued at a later stage.
Do you know whether there would be a public outcry should this court reach your back?
No, ma'am.
Nothing further.
May I be seated in the Thank you.
aspects of your evidence that is not clear to this court, and therefore I'm going to ask you questions in the interest of justice, just to clarify.
Yes, ma'am.
Please correct me if I understood your evidence,
Yes, ma'am.
misunderstood your evidence. As I understand your evidence, you testified that you noticed something in the bush.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
were curious, and then you went to the place where you found the body.
Yes, ma'am.
Then you moved or tried to move the body with your foot.
Yes, ma'am.
You realized there's some weight behind this. Then you moved the blanket or the rag or whatever was on top of this. And then you realized it is a woman.
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand your evidence correctly? up
Yes.
to now?
Yes, ma'am.
Then she was lying on her
On her side. Yes, ma'am.
Now, maybe you can clarify to the court, was she lying on her side with the one arm underneath her, touching the ground, and the other one on the side facing upwards? Right? You understand what I mean?
Yes, ma'am, I do, ma'am. So, ma'am, should I show you an example?
Just explain by using words, maybe that will help me.
Okay, so, ma'am, like, you see, like, laying on the bed like this, like,
Yes.
on this part. So then, like, this, like, someone that's laying,
So one arm was extended.
yeah, like,
in
sleeping
front of
on
her,
a, some type.
lying on
Yes, ma'am, some type of that,
it.
yes.
The other one was lying on the side.
Like, not like on the side of it, but like laying this way.
Little bit over forward.
Yes, ma'am.
towards the
Yeah, like, almost like to the stomach, towards the stomach side. Yes, ma'am.
So then I understand your evidence. You took both hands by the upper arm
Yeah, and-
close to the hip. You rolled the upper
Yes,
arm to
ma'am.
the back.
Yes, ma'am.
Then you tested, or then you wanted to see whether she was still alive.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, then you touched the throat with the back of your hand.
Yes, ma'am.
Felt her pulse. Then you placed your
My
ear
ear.
close to her heart.
Yes, ma'am.
You heard no heartbeat, and then you put your ear close to her mouth, and there was no breathing.
Yes, ma'am.
If I understood your evidence correctly, the only injuries you saw was a scratch.
The scratch on the face. Yes, ma'am. And
the
like
throat was
a swollen throat. Yes, ma'am.
So at that stage, what did you think happened to this woman?
Like, ma'am, like on my point of view, it looked like she'd been like murdered to me and then like thrown there, like at that place.
Sorry, I don't understand. Why do you say you think she was murdered?
Because, ma'am, like what else could it have been? Because she's just laying like in a public place, and like she's covered. Like, I think like if like it was a normal like pass away like of sickness or something, it would have been at hospital or at home, and like it wouldn't have been like murder, crimes, and all of that. It would have been like a normal pass away.
So you did not think she might have had a heart attack or something like that?
Like the cause of death.
No.
No, after I saw what's on her body, no, couldn't have been from a heart attack. Yes,
Sorry, why do you say so?
because of the marks, like the swollen throat and the cheek. Yeah.
And that is when you decided to take off her clothes? Is that correct?
I only decided to take off the clothes like after I realized that she passed away.
And I understand your reason for doing so was because you were afraid the fingerprints will be on her clothes.
Correct, ma'am.
Was that the only reason?
Yes, ma'am.
And you explained to the court you started to take off the shirt.
Yes, ma'am.
At that stage, when you rolled her over, did you have oil or something on your hand or
No,
anything that would make a print on the clothing?
I wouldn't per se. I really didn't know much about the fingerprints. I just know that if you touch something, like your fingerprints stay there. Yes, ma'am.
I understand. So when you rolled her over, I know she was lying on her back, but where was her arms?
Like when I rolled her over, yo, ma'am, I can't really confirm how her arms were when I rolled her over.
And her legs?
But like, I think the legs were like, just like rolled over, like just laying there. Like they just moved with the body and like just stood up straight.
So both legs were lying straight on the ground.
Yes, I think they were both on the ground when I turned her over, ma'am.
And her arms were bothering me.
I can't really recall, ma'am.
This is the part I wanted to explain to me because I really don't understand the evidence. You testified you pulled off her clothes.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, I do not understand how that you managed to pull off her clothes.
Yes,
Can you
ma'am.
explain that to me?
The shirt or
Yeah, start with the shirt.
so, ma'am, like the shirt, like I just like got it from here and then I just like pulled it up.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
You're showing that you took the shirt
From like here.
from the bottom.
Yeah, and then I just
you
pulled it up. Yes, ma'am.
Right. She's now lying on the floor.
She's now lying on the floor.
Ground.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Where were you when you did this?
Like meaning, ma'am?
Where were you standing when you
Uh,
pulled the shirt from the
Like I think I was standing like on her side or something.
on the side?
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was the right side or the left side, but I think I was standing from the side and then I pulled off the shirt.
Right. So how did you get the shirt off her arms?
Like it just pulled it up, like it went up, went right off.
You didn't need to sit her up and put it
No, it
over her head.
went right off, like from the back it went right off.
Right off.
Yes, ma'am.
And you were standing on the side of her.
Yeah, like I was like pulling it from the side.
And then you took off the tankies.
Yes, when I took off the techies to take the pants.
Pants.
Yes, ma'am.
And was she wearing socks?
I don't think so. I don't think so,
And
ma'am.
was she wearing a bra?
No,
And was she wearing a panty?
no, I don't think so.
So when you took off the shirt, and you took
The pants,
tight,
the ski pants, the tights. Yes,
she
ma'am.
was totally naked.
I think she was totally naked because I just pulled off the pants also, and yes, ma'am.
Right. And on the rest of her body when she was not naked, did you see any other injuries?
On the body, like it's injuries of, like I think like she might have got that when she was like maybe thrown there or something, like from the plants or something. Like if like she had injuries on her body,
What type of injuries? Was it bruising? Bruises?
I'd say like small scratches.
Scratches?
Yeah, small scratches, if I'd super say.
Not deep scratches?
No.
Shallow?
Yes, ma'am, like you have a pimple and then you scratch it and it opens up. Yes, ma'am.
Right. So, and
Her cap was lying there, at, like close to the blanket. Yes, ma'am.
Then I understand your evidence. You connected the cap, you took the t-shirt,
The pants,
the shoes, and you took off your shirt.
I took off my shirt, wrapped the pants.
In your shirt.
Correct, ma'am.
And then you decided to throw these items away.
Yes, ma'am.
That includes your other shirt.
No, I like got my shirt. I just threw away the clothes that I took. I have my shirt.
Oh,
I don't know if the police took it because I gave them some of the clothes.
oh, sorry, then I misunderstood. So you didn't take the bundle that you wrapped the clothes in that included
My shirt.
and you pushed it into the drain.
Yes, ma'am.
You didn't do that.
No, like what? Sorry, please repeat.
You just try again. I understand that you took her clothes and you wrapped it in your shirt.
Yes, ma'am.
That you were wearing her shirt.
Yes.
So when you decided to throw these items away, did it include your shirt as well, or did you take your shirt in?
I think I was holding my shirt and then I just pushed her clothes in and then I took my shirt.
Oh.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
what did you do with her shirt that you were wearing?
I think I threw it in a bin.
In the bin?
Yes, in a bin.
I'm sorry.
But the cap also I put the cap with the clothes in the drain.
So where did you throw the shirt in the bin?
Like somewhere like around the street. Somewhere around the
After
street.
you shoved the other stuff.
The other stuff in, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So you took off the shirt again, you put on your shirt again, and then you shoved her shirt
I
into the
threw
dustbin.
I threw her shirt in the dustbin. Yes, ma'am.
So, in your evidence, and if I'm wrong, the evidence is that the reason why you did this is you did not want to get involved.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, can you explain to the court, what do you mean, what did you mean when you say, I did not want to get involved?
Like, ma'am, the meaning of that is me touching the deceased and then just leaving the scene. So, like, it would come to me, like, come back to me, like, with my fingerprints, and then it would be blamed on me.
So, you were afraid that if you say getting involved, you were afraid that you will be arrested and charged for the murder of this woman.
Yes, ma'am.
And this is the exactly same reason why you didn't contact the security officers or the authorities like police officers.
Yes, ma'am. I was just avoiding to go to prison or be in trouble.
Mr. Saka.
Thank you very much, Your Worship. I must say your questions, Your Worship, are concise and precise to the core issues, insofar as the merits are concerned. And I will take it from there. Yesterday you left your photos there, isn't it?
Yes.
And today you never got them, or you took them with?
No, I only got the ones I received now.
Yes, the ones which you got yesterday, you left them there. Today they are not there, isn't it?
Yes.
So we had to use our photos for when the questions were raised. Did you realize that?
Oh, I didn't notice it.
Yeah, because your photos are not there. So why am I saying this, Your Worship? Is that from time to time I won't be able to say exhibit whatever. We will show you the photos because he left his photos there, and we cannot say who took them because it's a public place. But let me start on this one to take you from where the Honorable Magistrates stopped. You remember when my learned colleague, Mr. Bakana, was asking you questions. He said, I raised an issue about the pregnancy issue. You remember?
Yes, sir.
And he said they have a document which will show that the late Kristen Clay was 18 weeks pregnant. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And that was not produced. I think it could be for some mistake on it. And it's a genuine one. I have, however, what they call a medical legal autopsy report. Your Worship, it's one of the documents which were given by the state in an envelope. And at the top it's written provisional report GR number 3495/2023. Does Your Worship have it? But there is an envelope which Mr. Bakana availed for all of us. And I remember Your Worship was asking for the envelope, but there is a medical legal autopsy which I can show to the court, and then we'll make copies if need arises. Later on, one of the documents we should receive from the state now, is Your Worship reading it? Because I'm going to request that my client be given that document. And I'll inform, yes. Remember, as we are getting this document, let it come here first. Let me clarify on this issue. Remember, my little colleague asked you about towers, and he spoke about time around about 7:35. Remember?
Yes.
Putting you somewhere at a tower, right?
Yes.
And then it spoke about 7:35. He showed you a photo of the late Kristen Clay walking, and according to him, he was getting into the George Lee Park. Remember?
Yes.
And on that photo, this time mentioned there, it's
5 minutes past 8.
5 minutes past 8. And he never told you precisely, approximately at what time did the issue of the death occur. Do you remember that?
Yes.
He never told you how the body landed there, isn't it?
Yes.
He never also told you, let me stop it at that. Now, he never told you about an eyewitness who saw you with the body. You haven't heard about anyone.
Yes.
And he referred to what is contained in the affidavits of the IO and the private investigator. I guess no one of the two would be an eyewitness. Okay?
Yes.
So I'm simply saying to you, no name was mentioned of an eyewitness who saw you.
Yes.
I'll deal with the circumstantial part of it later on. And I'll show to this court that there are various possibilities here. But let me start with this one. This is a medical legal autopsy report which mentions a different time. Now I beg leave to grant you this document, read it into the record, and it's coming from The state stock it.
Once again, I'm
And we must compare 735, 805 with the time reflected on the medical thing. Just read it from the top. Case, it says provisional report number
3495 2023.
Yes, continue to read.
Bramfontein, Republic of South Africa, Gauteng Provincial Government, Health Medical Legal Autopsy Report, GW7/15.
Continue to read, please.
To the Magistrate of Johannesburg, I, Dr. Thandi Mahululu, do hereby certify that a medical legal laboratory, MLL Johannesburg, on the first day of November 2023, commencing at 10:30, to be precise, 10:36. I examined the body of an adult white female. This body was identified to me by Forensic Pathology Officer T.V. Manzini of MLL Johannesburg as being that of DR 3495/2023, whose reputed age is 34 years, and that the death occurred on the 29th of October 2023 at 10:30, as I am informed. Chief post-mortem finding made by me on this body were blunt force head trauma, that's the cause of death was blunt head force trauma, strangulation, smothering, or pressure to the neck cannot be excluded. Signature and yeah.
Does it mention at what time that person refers to a time as to at what time that person died?
10:30.
It says that person died at 10:30 as informed.
As informed.
And then he doesn't mention as to who informed him about the 10:30. Right?
Yes.
Yes. Now, this creates another time which is different from the 7:35, 8:05, and the 10:30, isn't it?
Yes.
Now let's count. 7, and you must understand, they mentioned 7:35 to 8:05, how much time?
7:35. That's like 30 minutes.
30 minutes, right?
Bishop, my greatest apologies. Before the witness answers to that, the timeline 7:35, at no stage did state submit that that is the time that the deceased died. That was the time that allegedly the witness was at the scene of crime. And then 8:04, that was the time when the deceased was taken photo. If I'm not wrong, I think it will be misleading to this court to say that the argument from the side of the state is that the deceased passed away or died at 7:35. I just wanted to be clear on that.
Okay, let me clarify it. In no way, implicitly or expressly, am I saying 7:35 is the time in which the deceased died. The state never said anything about the time of death. We should be crystal clear about it. But, Your Worship, heard me referring to no eyewitness. The reason I'm raising this, I'm now dealing with circumstantial evidence. And I have to do that because in my thinking, if there's no eyewitness, circumstantial evidence also has equal weight as you would compare with direct evidence.
Bishop, may I raise another aspect, part and parcel of the question. We all know, as prosecutors, as advocates, that there's a purpose for chief examination. There's a purpose for cross-examination. Examination. And we know the reason for that. The only reason is to clarify issues. just to clarify certain issues with regard to the answers that were given, not to raise new questions.
May I answer, Your Worship? Worship, I am well aware about cross-examination and its purpose, examination in chief, and re-examination. These questions I'm raising now are stemming from the cross-examination. And Worship will remember that Your Worship has photos which were not furnished to us. Right? Now, bail applications, as per words by my learned colleague, are inquisitorial, informal, and they are not about the guilt or acquittal of accused person. Now, what my learned colleague, it would seem, suggests that this, and he is the one who promised that there is a document which he'll give to me. Now, I must sit with this document, which might assist the court to arrive at a just and fair verdict, and keep it to myself, and then it is only the state's version. We received this document from the state, not from any other source. So about its existence, it cannot be new evidence. And all relevant material, times when they gave it to us here in court, they knew about this document. And now this document clarifies the point that times mentioned, 735, 805, photos which were given. I can't just leave it as open as is. My learned colleague doesn't want it to be in precisely because it shows what a source, a reliable source, says from their docket, and maybe they overlooked that. I'll refer my learned colleague to an authority versus R versus Hepworth. I'll refer my learned colleague to Herhold also, that the court is not just a figurehead. The court is here to ensure that fairness and justice prevails. This accused is faced with very, very gruesome, heinous charges. And I would be failing grossly in not presenting the statement. But if Honorable Court says, I don't have this evidence, and no one is saying to us it's irrelevant, why aren't they saying it's irrelevant? Now, let me also make another example, which is a living example. My colleague was in court, and I discussed it with my attorney. By the way, I wish to also introduce Mr. Makanya because he's here with me also. That in a normal course in a trial, magistrates will clarify after both the state and the defense have presented. But in a bail application, it's a flexible instrument because it's not dealing. We are dealing with the merits here, precisely because we want to show the cogency of the state case that is so weak. And we have to, when you deal with the state weakness case, you can't leave direct and circumstantial evidence, because if you do so, then the court will obviously arrive at an unfair conclusion. So, my learned colleague's application, the greatest respect, I do not agree with, and I have a request that it be dismissed. If you were in the civil court, I would have said with cost.
Right. Will allow the defense to proceed, Mr. Bakana, if at the end of this evidence led by the defense you feel the need to cross-examine, the court will grant you that opportunity. Mr. Masaku, you may proceed.
Thank you very much. Worship, before I proceed, may I ask Mr. Bakana to avoid a situation like this, to avail the document which he earlier promised us and we didn't receive. So that we deal with one thing. Remember, Your Worship, when I referred to the issue of pregnancy, what his response was. So may I have that document?
Indeed, so, Your Worship, the state is in possession of the document. It's original. but it can be used now as our attorneys will give, or will be given an opportunity maybe to make a copy for them.
We will also make a copy of, does the state have that copy?
What?
The autopsy report?
No, I can't afford it. It's not an idea.
Okay. I'll request that they make a copy for the court, please.
Yes, the original, and as I make copies to the offence court as well as the state.
Here's the solution. And I realize the document which I have given to my client is page 2 of 11. And then here I have 10 of 11. As to what is contained from 1 and to 1, skipping 2, 3 to 9, and the 11th, I don't know. But we have, what we have is here. Now, let's deal with that document. I shouldn't lose sight. Does that document now show a different time as per information which we see there?
Yes, it shows a different time.
What is the time?
10:30.
10:30. And he says, person died at 10:30 as informed.
Yes.
We do not know who is the source, right?
Yes.
May I beg leave that it be let me permanently admitted by the court, but we'll make copies. Okay. Well, I would have requested for the full post-mortem, but I'll live with what I have. Exhibit M. Oh, this one also, may I, oh good Lord, may I then deal with this one? It's important. That exhibit? Yeah. M. Maybe M1 and this one that I have would be M2. It's from the same report. I am not going to deal with 1920, but I need my client to read 26 into the record. M1, 2, do you mind that?
Yes, Your Worship.
Just read 25, leave every other thing. If the state wants to read through the record, we'll do that.
Just number 25.
25, where it's marked with a red pen.
Okay.
It means somebody has seen it and they marked it.
Okay. Should I?
Read it.
Pelvic walls.
No, start at the top as to what is
Oh,
it.
should I? Provisional report DR number 3495/2023.
It's almost, it's the same copy. If you look at the one which you have,
It's the same.
it's page 2.
Yeah.
Look at the bottom, page 2.
Page
You
2 of
see that?
11.
That one is
10 of 11.
10 of
11.
11. Read the second one, paragraph 25.
The number 25, right?
Yes.
Pelvic walls intact and showed no abnormalities.
You see, you don't read the whole thing. Read the whole 25.
It's the whole 25.
The court commission might just have a look. 26. Then move to 26. I beg your pardon. 26 is more crucial. That one also is important. You want to underline. 26.
Genital organs. There were no obvious injuries noted on the external genitalia, labia, anus, perineal area, and the vaginal canal. The uterus contained a male fetus weighing 54 grams, whose estimated gestational age is plus minus 14 weeks.
What do you understand from that? I know you are not a medical student, and I'll tell you why. You showed pictures earlier. You are not a medical student, but what do you understand from that?
From my understanding of this
You
is
know genitalia?
genitalia.
Yes.
Isn't it like the insides or something? of a
They
woman.
say there are no injuries on
Like the private parts. The private parts.
the private parts.
Yes.
No, he answered to worship. He says private parts. And you can see what it says. Huh?
Yes.
Right. It's talking about the private parts.
Yes.
Okay. May M1 and M2 be admitted into evidence, please? Give it to. Should with court's permission, may I then move to deal with
Your worship, here's someone.
Let me move to deal with. There are photos which were shown today. We don't have copies. And I guess again, it could have been a mistake. Maybe when you're sharing, my colleague was busy. But may court be so kind to just borrow them to us? Or we can ask questions. Yeah, the photos, please. Which was shown?
Bishop, I'm in possession of which photos is my learned colleague referring to?
From the autopsy. Yes.
Okay. Oh, they are in court. It's the original. They are in court.
Let me tell you, that report on its own says a million words. You don't have to even embellish it. Okay.
Yes.
Remember, you were shown pictures, it's Exhibit L, which cannot be shown to the public. And I'm sorry to traumatize you, but we have to do it. These pictures are also from, I guess, the same document, because I can see Provisional Report DRN 34595 2023. Is this the same? Same as the one which you read?
Yes.
And this is page 4 of 11. Okay?
Yes.
5 of 11, 6 of 11, 7 of 11, right?
Yes.
Okay. Let me start you with, do you know where these photos come from?
I'm guessing they come from the forensics.
Do you know when were they produced?
No.
Do you know who took them?
No.
And do you know after how many days were they taken?
No.
And we have established now 7:35, 8:05, 10:30, right?
Yes.
Now, you, with these pictures, is that what you saw on the day when you met with the body covered with a rag?
No, it
Was it in the state
no.
when you left it?
Yeah.
I'm saying when you left it, was it in the state?
No.
And you wouldn't know what happened thereafter?
No.
You see, there's a picture which confirms some of the things which you saw. Let me show you picture number 7 of 11. Just show you the part of the neck, and then tell the court as to. Do you see that picture there? Just have a look at the neck. Is that what you saw?
Mm-mm.
Is that what you saw?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Even
Answer no.
No.
I don't want to show you these pictures. I'm holding to you because I'm also not at this thing. But now paragraph 3 of this same 4 of 11 reads, secondary post-mortem changes. The body was cold to the touch and had been refrigerated prior to autopsy. Right? There was nothing, yeah, no. What I'm simply trying to say, we don't know as to whether this body was prior to the autopsy or before autopsy?
Yes.
And all this which is here, you see it for the very first time?
Yes.
On the floor.
Yes.
Okay. You didn't even see the injury on the mouth?
No.
Okay. Let me have the pictures to give you.
Three to M6 version. M3 to M6.
Right. Now we know. The issue of Susumani will not ask the question, it's common cause, right?
Yes.
And then I wish to come back. I mean, Susumani is the issue about the pajama party and so on.
Yes.
It seems the state has not gone there.
Yes.
Let's get to the terms. You, in your own words, said, about time I cannot estimate. My phone will show the precise time.
Yes.
Do you have your phone with you?
No.
Where is it?
The police took it.
If they needed the time, would they get all the information from your phone?
Yes.
Now, the issue of 735, you being at a tower as they mentioned, does it naturally mean, even if you were at the George Lee Park, at the time 735 or shortly before or after, you were there murdering, robbing, and raping this person?
Doesn't mean that.
So you still insist that about the times, and you are not trying to hide the truth by saying that the reliable time is on your phone.
It's on my phone.
Good. You took pictures of the restaurant and
The gate.
and the gate.
The blue board that was on the picture.
Let's get to those pictures. You said something about those pictures, and I remember vividly my learned colleague said, you're talking about the trees and shadows and so on.
Yes.
And my learned colleague says, you are here to be asked questions, and I do not want, I'm not here to ask questions. So let's deal with what you wanted to say at the time.
Okay.
What are you saying about the issue that you are following the deceased person by showing you those pictures?
Okay. So, like, according to the prosecutor, he said that I was following the deceased approximately 100 meters away. So, if I was following the deceased and I was only 100 meters away, does it make sense for me to walk 100 meters and all of a sudden there's no longer shadows?
Yes.
Because in my picture, there's literally no shadow at the gate, here by the trees on the right side, there's shade by the gate. Like, there's no shade in my picture. Here you can see there's trees, there's shade on the right side, there's shade on the left bottom side of the picture, there's shade by the gate, there's shade by the other gate close to the Wendy. So it can't be 100 meters. How do I follow them and I don't have shade in my photo?
Now, does that picture show at what time were you standing there at the port?
It does not.
Do you know where this picture comes from?
No,
You don't know who took it?
no.
According to him, the lady was taken by someone whose name was not mentioned, remember?
Yeah.
Now, my fundamental question, as you were standing at that board, as is shown on the picture, which has no time, date, and stuff, right?
Yes.
Were you having in your head an intention to can harm, kill, rob, do all those charges preferred against you, rape someone?
No, my only intention was to go look at the menu and see what's going on in the area.
Let's go
No.
And formulations in your head that someone I have to kill.
No.
What other pictures?
There is a picture of the gate, of some gate.
Does it show time? Do you know when it comes from?
No.
And does it show time?
It says here 18:53, 37 seconds.
18:53.
Yeah. Oh, 10:53, 37 seconds.
Oh, that one says 10:53 now.
Yeah.
Okay. We didn't know. We now know that there are two affidavits to be tendered in this bail application. And it's the affidavit of the investigating officer and the private investigator. Right?
Yes.
So, do you know anything about these private investigators? Did you meet any private investigator who told you I'm investigating you?
No.
No. Now, do you know this private investigator who has deposed of an affidavit?
No.
So, which means you don't know him? And if you were knowing him, would you want to harm him?
No.
And let's then proceed to deal with the issue of the cell phone. I want to deal first with the issue of, at some point, you ask about theft and obstructing the ends of justice. You don't know, you are not a legal person, but you said you won't deny that, right?
Yes.
Right, good. And my learned colleague intimated as follows. You were there with the body, took the clothes, concealed the clothes in a drain, and then if you're released on bail, you might conceal evidence. Is there any evidence to conceal by you?
No.
And tell us this one. During the time period of the 29th of October, up until the time when you were arrested on the 26/11, right, 2023,
Yes.
did you commit any crimes during those times?
No.
Why didn't you commit a crime? Because it seems at some point you are looked at as a criminal.
Because I don't want to end up in jail, so I don't commit crime.
Yes. Let's come back to where the body was. There's evidence to the effect that you saw a phone, cell phone, and keys, car keys lying there. Did you take them?
No.
Right, let's deal with this one first. Why did you opt not to take the cell phone?
Because that's not the reason I was there. Like, I didn't come there to, like, steal stuff or try to get money.
The keys which you sold were the car keys.
I can't really per se what keys they were, but I saw keys there.
Why didn't you take them?
What would I do with the keys?
Now, this question comes as to whether this person, the lady, was walking or running. Do you know anything?
No.
Do you know anything about my run?
No.
Do you know what time it starts?
No.
Do you know who, the one who they say took the photo of the lady?
No.
If you would take photos there?
No.
You said something in your own words, and let's touch this. Because my colleague dealt with the issue of the public outcry. And I asked you a question, and deliberately so. You said in your own words you had to run because it was a lady and also a white person that made you to run. I ask you, what if it were a black lady? Do you remember what what was your response?
Yes.
Yes, what did you say?
I think I said that, like, it would have been better if it was a black person because, like, we know how the issue between black people and white people is. Like, it's like we're in competition.
Let's come to the public outcry issue. And this case is not to be determined by the we're not
Yes.
just pushing the ticket. Pushing it on facts, evidence, and the law.
Yes.
Now, it's so clear. Not here to impress anybody. Public outcry. My learned colleague referred to, I showed you one of the exhibits where a hand says, stop domestic violence. You remember what was the response?
Yes.
What did you say?
I said, like, it's something I saw at school.
And you support it or not?
I do support it.
Yes. Now, public outcry. You have parents, right?
Yes.
You have your mom.
Yes.
You have your siblings.
Yes.
How many are they?
I have 5.
You're the first
I'm
one.
the 5th one. I'm a part of the 5 siblings.
Okay.
It's
For due respect, I do not understand the way that my learned colleague is actually proceeding this issue. These are the issues that were raised yesterday. As I said, my understanding is this is only for people's clarity sake. Are we going to spend the whole day and tomorrow repeating one and the same thing? I don't think it would a state is a problem.
Well, Worship, when you talk about public, it involves everyone. But anyway, let me shelve it. I'll argue it at the later stage. But would you agree with me that public involves both races?
yes.
My learned colleague asked you, and it was him who asked you about the charges preferred, as in treatment, meditators, and so on, right? Then later on asked you about theft and obstructing, and he wanted to imply that if you were to be found guilty. Now let's start with this one. Let's assume the state elects, we cannot decide for. The state elects that, be as it may, we are going to continue with the charges as they stand. Would that make you to flee?
No.
You stay in the country and abide by the orders of the court.
I know I didn't do anything wrong, so I don't have a reason to run.
Bishop, I may request 5 minutes break. If it is granted to my colleague, I can inform you. Right. Just leave it.